William Blake wrote, "Imagination is evidence of the divine." I add, genuine compassion is a manifestation of the divine. All of the Quran's 114 chapters except one begins with the phrase Allah, which is Arabic for God, is merciful and compassionate. True Muslims recognize the brotherhood of man and will respect and treat even non-Muslims as brothers. True Muslims understand that compassion and charity is serving God. The Quran states, "No man is a true believer unless he desires for his brother that which he desires for himself." Carl Jung wrote, "It is presumptuous to think that we can always say what is good or bad for a patient. Perhaps he knows something is really bad, but he does it anyway. But then he develops a bad conscience. From the therapeutic, that is to say, empirical point of view, this may be very good indeed. Perhaps he has to experience the power of evil and suffer accordingly, because only in that way can he give up his Pharisaic attitude. Perhaps fate, the unconscious, or God, call it what you will, had to give him a hard knock and roll him around in the dirt, because only such a drastic experience can strike home, pull him out of his infantilism, and make him more mature. How can anyone find out how much he needs to be saved if he is quite sure that there is nothing he needs saving from?" The Dalai Lama said, "The radicalism of our generation is to learn to be compassionate people." Now, if you look at compassion when it's mixed with attachment, no matter how intense and strong that mixed emotion may be, you will realize that it is based on your projection of certain positive qualities onto the object of your compassion, whether the object is a close friend, a family member, whomever. Depending upon your changing attitudes towards that object, your emotional feelings will also change. For example, in a relationship with a friend, suddenly one day you no longer see all those great qualities you had previously perceived, and this new attitude will immediately affect your feelings towards that person. But genuine compassion springs from a clear recognition of the experience of suffering on the part of the object of compassion, and from the realization that this person is worthy of compassion and affection. Any compassionate feelings that arise from these two realizations cannot be swayed, no matter how the other person behaves or reacts against you. Even if the other reacts in a very negative way, it has no power to influence genuine compassion, which will remain the same or become even more powerful. In my first book, Keep Hope Alive, I wrote a chapter called Cats and Compassion, from which I excerpt. Have you heard the one about Dorothy and her cats? Dorothy was about your age when her tiny orange and calico cat named Peaches met with an early demise. You see, little Peaches, barely a year old, got too big for her breeches and snuck out Dorothy's front door. Nobody knew except Ricky, the deer dog, who lived next door. Ricky could not resist his nature to hunt, and Peaches was most exotic fare, for in this neighborhood cats lived inside. Little defenseless Peaches never had a chance, for Ricky bit right through the neck of that tiny orange and calico cat. Oh, how Dorothy mourned. Oh, how she grieved. After a week, her mother could take it no more and told her, "Girl, you need a new kitty." Dorothy agreed. "Then I'll call the Cat League and see what they have in stock, okay, Dorothy?" Okay, do it for me, please." Happily, her mom replied as she dialed the league. But Dorothy could not believe it when she heard her mother say, "Hi, have you got any kitties that need a home?" Dorothy exploded. "No, not just any kitty. I know exactly what I want. I want a pure white cat with blue eyes, the color of the summer sky, and I'll call him Bob." Okay, did you hear all that, lady from the league? "Yeah, I did, and good luck. I've got lots of cats that could be Bob. Some have pure white fur, but none have blue eyes." "Okay, thanks. We will continue on," Dorothy's mom sighed as she hung up the phone. "Girl, I have to pick up the dry cleaning next to the veterinarian's office. Come with me, and maybe someone there will be able to help you find your Bob with blue eyes and white fur on." For the first time since Peach's demise, Dorothy smiled when she replied, "Okay, okay." Dorothy and her mom stood in line at the vet's office for an interminable time before a doe-eyed brunette as thin as a French-cut string bean noticed them and inquired, "Hi, can I help you?" Dorothy said, "I'm looking for the cat of my dreams. He has pure white fur and eyes the color of the summer sky, and his name is Bob." "Well, this is most numinous. You see, I've got a 5-year-old cat back in storage that needs a home. He's been in a cage for almost 7 months because Thanksgiving week his first family dropped him off. They didn't really love him. They wanted to toss him away. They wanted the doc to give him a shot to put him to sleep, but I said, 'No way. I'll put this cat back in storage, and one day someone will come in here and take him away.'" Dorothy's mom interrupted, "There must be a reason that family tossed that cat away." The doe-eyed string bean looked her right in the eye and replied, "Sister, let me tell you, this cat is no more neurotic than any other cat I know. But I will not lie to you, he is indeed one neurotic kitty. But he did have lush white fur when he came in here, and his eyes are still as blue as a summer sky. He is most definitely OC. You see, he licks himself a lot, and so now he is as bald as a bat. Oh, by the way, he whines like a banshee and paces about. For after his upsetting Thanksgiving, the vet fixed him for Christmas, and no doubt you can imagine why he is naturally still quite upset about that. But sister, I assure you, he's no more or less neurotic than any other cat around. Follow me into the back room and you will see that he really is a cool cat, and you should take him away." Dorothy's mom pleaded, "I think Dorothy wants a blue-eyed baby kitty, not one so worn out." "I don't care how old he is, as long as he is my Bob," Dorothy shouted over the cacophony of barking and yelping as the doe-eyed string bean stopped in front of the center cage and announced, "Didn't I tell you? This cat has always been called Bob." And with that, she turned and with one smooth motion unlatched the cage and pulled out a long, scrawny cat with a few patches of white fur and enormous blue eyes, the color of the summer sky, that looked into Dorothy's, and he moaned like a baby in pain, and Dorothy proclaimed, "He's the one." Dorothy took her home on her shoulder as her mom drove the crossfire, and Bob never moved a muscle nor made a sound. Dorothy's mom thought, this won't be so bad, right? As soon as Dorothy put Bob down, he moaned and groaned, and Dorothy did not want to do until her mom informed her, "He's just like a baby, and you may have to walk the floors all night holding him. Welcome to motherhood." Dorothy gleefully picked Bob back up and carried him around on her shoulder, but every single time she put him down, he'd whine, kvetch, and pace all around and stare at her with his blue eyes, the color of a summer sky. Dorothy swore she heard him say, "Sister, I got the blues so bad, and I can't calm down unless you carry me around." The very next night, the bombs hit Baghdad. All night, Dorothy walked the floor with Bob, the blue-eyed cat, on her shoulder, and her heart breaking, 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 for all the innocents caught in the crossfire. She knew she was connected, and so were you. In the 11th century, Hildegard of Bingen knew, God responds speedily whenever the blood of innocence is being shed. Of this the angel choirs are singing and re-echoing their praise, and yet at the loss of innocence, clouds are weeping. Bob the blue-eyed cat has now calmed down. He doesn't want to be held, and he never makes a sound. His coat has grown back pure white and coarse as grit. Into his summer sky blue eyes, clouds of cataracts have moved in. Bob moves slowly, slowly, slowly. He tucks his front legs under his chest and gently bows as he gets down. What a contemplative Bob has become, for deliberate movement is prayer. Read much more at wearewideawake.org, February 25, 2010, Power to the Peaceful. Only in solidarity do we have it in our power to begin the world again.